fast facts about these fast runners here as the first few laps go to kind of set the tone for who's in this race. So to give perspective, Alex Phillip won the cross-country national title. He won the 5K indoors. He won the 3K indoors. So he is looking to make history. He's made history in indoors as the only D3 runner, at least on the men's side, to win cross-country, to win 5K, to win the 3K. He'll continue to make history if he wins today.
Yeah, I mean, similar to what we saw in the women's race with Cassie Parker entering the race kind of head and shoulders above everybody else. His 28:48 seed time is the only seed time under 29 minutes. He's got a solid 40 seconds above the number 2 seed, which is Jamie Daly from John Carroll, his teammate.
Yeah, he's third all time in the 10K. In the 5K, he broke it indoors and broke it outdoors, so he's the only D3 athlete besides Ian Lemire to complete that feat, as Ben White out of Whittier takes the early lead. Whittier is out in California.
He comes in with a 29:42 seed time and PB. I mean, yeah, we're going to see the same kind of tactics go into this race. Alex Phillip can dictate if he wants to, and everybody else is going to have to come up with a reactionary plan.
Yeah, as you see, it's all grouped up there.
The brakes are coming on here.
They are feeling confident in what this pace is feeling like, and that's Simon Hayes out of Wilmington in the all green. Simon was 5th in cross country, and he was the first one out of the indoor 3K. We've been talking about how unprecedented some of these times are. He ran 8:19 in the 3K and didn't qualify. He ran 14:19 in the 5K this year, didn't qualify. He's in the 10K. He's the 5th seed, and he's taking the lead right now.
It's good to see him in there. Like, he'll definitely be out for some redemption after some narrow misses and looking to really capitalize on this opportunity. Another cool storyline are the 2 Williams teammates who are in this race. One slightly more experienced than Elias Lindgren, who was the runner-up in cross-country to Alex Phillip this fall, and then his young teammate who comes in with a pretty quick seed. I'll have to double-check and see what it is.
Yeah, he's running 14:08 in the 5K. He ran a qualifier of 29:47 earlier in the year, and he's a true freshman. He ran 14 flat indoors. So he's ready to mix it up here. The other true freshman in the field, this is a fun story too, Noah. TK Burhe out of Laverne, he ran to qualify, he ran 29:56. At the time that he ran 29:56, his 5K PR, 15:11.
Wow.
I was talking with his coach before the race. His 2 fastest 5Ks came from the 10K. And now he has a 14:33 5K PR.
These men are very bunched up. You see some arms going up. You see some checking going on. Nobody really wants to take the pace yet. Of course, as I say that, Alex Phillip hits the lead. I'm not sure if this is a real injection of pace yet or if he really just wants to string it out a little bit to get out of trouble.
Yeah, and went right with them there was David Fossbender of UW Whitewater. Fossbender is coming in with the 11th seed. He was 6th in cross country, and he was 3rd and 5th in the indoor 3K and 5K, just one of 3 athletes to be a double All-American. And another good fact about David, his sister is competing in the 800. We'll see her tomorrow. Paige.
A family affair.
A family affair here at Geneva, Ohio, as Monahan from Puget Sound is in 2nd place.
And Fossbender, to go back to him for a second, he ran really courageous races indoors too. Like he faded a little bit to the places where he ended up after really putting himself in it for a win. And so if this does get going and turn into a real quicker pace throughout this 10K, Fossbender is a guy who you expect to see until he just literally breaks.
Yeah, he's a grinder. You know, he is willing to put himself out there. He had 2 teammates in that 5K with him, Gunnar Schlender, who's in this race, Christian Patska, who we saw in the steeple. And there's a good view of Schultz there from Stout. Sam Craig of UChicago and joins that mix of 5 athletes, and that's Gatos Tui out of, wow, there's a big injection of pace in the pack behind, as Jamie Daly will enter your screen potentially here as he bridges the gap from the back of the pack to now one full train.
Tui Gatos, the freshman, sitting there in fourth. I mean, if you're going to pay attention to Division III running over the next few years, this is a name you're going to have to become familiar with.
Yeah, he is ready to mix it up with anyone and everyone here. Not afraid to go after it. He was a sub-9 guy in high school, so he is very talented. As Alex Phillip taking a different approach than Cassie Parker did. They went through that first mile just under 5 minutes and 4:54. That was a 67 lap. So they started the race off as a 76, 79, and now they went 71, 67. So that could hurt some people. It's early, but
when I first saw Phillip compete at a national level, he kind of made me nervous because he's really fidgety runner, right? He's like shaking his arms out, he's blowing his nose, he's adjusting his shorts or whatever. And I kind of took that as a sign he wasn't feeling good. But I was wrong. I was totally wrong.
Yeah, and he is now, I looked down at our notes, looked back up, and the gap has formed. It's him, Colin Monahan, and David Fossbender. Ben White is leading the rest of the 17 folks here in the field. You know, we saw Nikki Andrews do this in the indoor 3K. He was fresh. He didn't want to deal with anyone. He wanted to bring the pain and went off the front. He eventually was caught with 3 laps to go, but still finished an All-American position. This feels a little different, though. Alex Phillip was off the front, and Alex Phillip most likely doesn't come back to you.
How about Colin Monaghan? This seems like he may be a little bit out of his depth. He's putting himself in a position to exceed what he's ever done before.
Yeah, it's interesting. Colin Monahan literally was the first person to break 30 minutes in the 5K. He qualified on March 4th.
In the 10K.
Excuse me, in the 10K, yes. He ran 29:52 on March 4th, and then just kind of chilled out for a little bit. He ran some 8:15 doubles. He ran at his conference meet to the 10K, 5K double. His PR in the 5K now is 14:12. So he's in this new sense of that he has a massive new PR. He dropped 20 seconds off his 5K. We will see him in the 5K on Saturday. And so maybe he's like, this is my time to shine. I've put in the work. I got my qualifier out of the way. I only had one run, you know, an easier 10K later in the season, and now I'm ready to go for it. As we say that, though, the pack's coming back.
Yeah, Phillip slowed that lap up 2 or 3 seconds. So, I mean, much like we saw in the women's race where the packs kind of drifted apart and came together, if Phillip takes his foot off the gas, and it doesn't look like he's going to get any help here, that pack could very well come back to him. And we saw Gatos make the decision earlier to leave this front pack when they ran, what did they run, like 67?
Yeah.
He made a decision pretty quick to drop back there. And so that could be some of these athletes just reading these conditions and knowing that 67, 68 this early into a 10K could just be a little hot.
And we had Jamie Daly on the podcast here, and you know, you try to do your job in media and learn about some of the tactics that are on play, but, you know, he held his cards close as he doesn't want his competitors to know what their team tactics are. You know, maybe this is part of the plan that Alex takes it early. Jamie, he slows it down. Jamie brings it back and try to put some sting into these legs that we saw in the women's 10K. I mean, Cassie's plan, maybe that was her plan that came back to haunt her here, but now we see Monahan kind of regroup in that pack. He maybe thinks it's a little too hot, but as we mentioned, the grinder, David Fossbender from UW Whitewater going with Alex Phillip.
Yeah, I don't think Fossbender is going to make that decision that a couple other athletes have made, that you know, maybe slightly safer decision, much safer decision to drop back into this pack. I think Fossbender is going to hang out. We'll see if Phillip decides that he wants to press his advantage here or not. I mean, he only has to lose one more athlete, and he's got a pretty clear solo effort for a national championship.
So you're David Fossbender, right? You're in this 10K right now. You're going toe-to-toe with Alex Phillip. David Fossbender, despite running under 14 minutes, he ran 14:18 at the Platteville Invite this year. He's not in the Saturday final of the 5K.
Yeah.
This is his only race of the weekend as they come through in 9:37 at 3,200 meters. If you're David, you have nothing to lose right now. You are hanging out with Alex Phillip for as long as possible, and if there's an opening to make a move on the reigning national champ from indoors, you take it.
Honestly, if I'm Fossbender, the the more of an advantage you get over the pack right now, the better. If I were him, I may even be inclined to share the lead for a little while just to create an even bigger gap. And if you fade late in the race, I mean, you still have a really solid second place. Or if you catch Phillip on an off night, you've got a chance to really take it to him for the win without having to worry about, the charging peloton behind him.
Yeah, I mean, that was what Nicky Andrews did in the 3K, and we mentioned it again. Like, he went for it, fell back, but was still an All-American, finishing, I believe, 6th. So, you got to go for it. The wind's slightly picking up a little bit on the home stretch here. The distance faithful are still out in force here, as we have a two-man race right now with 18 other people. But here comes Ben White putting the head down. He's followed by Jamie Daly, Simon Hayes, Tyler Morris, Ethan Gregg, Jeffrey Love, Colin Monahan. I mean, everyone. You know who we haven't talked about at all? Elias Lindgren.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up for sure. I mean, runner-up in cross country. He was at the indoor national meet, was definitely not at his best coming off an injury. He seems to have had solid training coming into this meet tonight, and I don't think the fact that he's in that pack is necessarily an indication that anything is wrong. I think he's probably just playing it kind of conservative, but when he's at his best and he's feeling good, he's naturally a very aggressive runner. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see him float to the front of that pack and try to close down this gap at some point if we're catching him on a good night.
We mentioned how deep this field is on the distance side of things. The hardest ever field to make was in 2021, where the 20th spot was 30-23. This year, last time in, because there was one scratch, 29-57.
Sub 30.
And Elias Lindgren is that 20th person. The runner-up in cross country is 20th heading into this race, and he's on the back end biding his time of a pack of 15 runners there in the middle of this race, as 2 are up front. That's about 14 runners are all packed up together here as David and Alex Phillip continue to press on. And something that we learned about Alex Phillip after talking to him on the D3 Glory Days podcast, as he shakes out his arms, he writes endure on his arm, and he looks at it periodically throughout the race when it is getting hard, because he wants to remember to work hard and to run for people in his life. He also writes down some names of people he's running for in certain races as well. Are these new John Carroll singlets, by the way?
They're the same color scheme, but they may be new.
They look different than indoors. Anyway, they're kind of cool.
They're settling into a consistent 71 second tempo up front. And honestly, the pack behind, they're running 71, 72, and so they're not losing that much time every lap, but they're definitely not eating into this lead. And we're getting further and further into this race. They're going to run out of time to really press much of an advantage. And it seems like every lap we go by, we shed somebody off of this pack.
Slowly but surely, they're breaking off. Everyone has a breaking point at some point. And right now, Gunnar Schlender, who was an indoor All-American, is kind of falling off that path. This just shows how deep of a field this is right now, how deep D3 running is. It took under 30 minutes to make this national meet. They went through a 9:37, the leaders did, in the 3200. So any high school runners out there that are looking at colleges, you want to run at a D3 national meet and your PR is 9:45? Well, they just went through a 9:37. So keep that into consideration during your college search.
We are just whittling down the athletes in that chase pack, lap by lap. Phillip's still looking strong. Fossbender, much as we predicted early on in this broadcast, is just hanging on. You're not going to see any gap until he's just absolutely broken.
And they're coming up on 3 miles here on the track.
Yeah, we'll pay attention and get a 5K split.
We'll get you an accurate 5K split here, as we won't talk through the one. So 14:23 through 3 miles. So roughly, what is that, like 4:47 pace?
Listen to these last 4 laps. 71:40, 71:37, 71:43, 71:56, 71:54. They're just clockwork. This is just a relentless tempo.
Yep, and they're going to be a little bit over 15 minutes here through the first 5K or so. We'll see if it turns into a negative split or not. probably in the 15 O's as we just are about, right at it. 58. All right.
Yeah.
So they're right on a 30-minute pace, 29:56. So if you think about it here, if majority of the field is in that 9:50 range, they're keeping things honest.
The field is still losing about a second per lap, give or take, right now. And so at some point you gotta stop the bleeding, or they're going to be well out of it. I mean, they're going to round this turn 50, 60, 70 meters behind.
Yeah, and at that point, then it kind of turns into that women's 5K race we saw where it grouped up and you had to battle out for All-American points as it's starting to as here comes Ben White around the entire pack. Great shot there of what just happened. So he's going to take this field out. Tyler Morris, Ethan Gregg going right with him. Jamie Daly's in that pack as well. I see Simon Hayes, Graham Tui-Gatos, Elias Lindgren, Jeffrey Love, all in it as well. Spencer Moon is in that pack too, and there's one singlet I can't recognize here that is in the pack as well. Might be a Chicago runner.
If we could even follow the chase pack down the backstretch, that would be great.
Here's a great stretch of who's in it right now. That was Ben White. Here it is again. Ben White, Tyler Morris, Jamie Daly from right to left, Ethan Gregg, Jeffrey Love, Graham Tui-Gatos, Simon Hayes, Elias Lindgren. That's Enrique Salazar there right behind Elias Lindgren, and then Spencer Moon from Simpson.
We've got a gap growing out front now.
Yep. As we pan to the chase pack, the move has been made, and if this is a decisive move, Fossbender has 4,400 meters by himself to think about what he's going to do here.
That was only another 71. So like we said, Fossbender was going to stay until he broke. That could be happening now.
And that was a great shot of Jamie Daly looking up and seeing the move made, and now the pace is kind of picked up. They're starting to string out there, and that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3 through 10 now have to work together. They smell blood.
Yeah.
And they have 50 or 60 meters to catch this guy over 4,000 meters or 4,200 meters left.
Yeah, so Fossbender dropping off the lead, I think, has a couple of effects. One, Phillip is going to see it and gain confidence, and he's going to want to press his advantage. You see him looking over his shoulder. But two, the group is going to pick up their pace now because there's something to really chase. And so it'll be interesting, like, can Phillip pick it up as much as the chase pack? Will they eat into his advantage? He looks really strong right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a 4,000-meter victory lap, most likely, unless Fossbender can find something to get him out of this funk that he's currently going through. I know the dark thoughts start to creep in when the leader breaks away. You have a peloton behind you.
Phillip, he's not picking it up at all. That was a 72.
Yeah, Fossbender goes to 75. And what's Jamie Daly's split going to be here?
71.
So
they're finally eating into it.
4 seconds there. And I'm sure Kyle Basista of John Carroll is letting them know that they are gaining on Fossbender. Alex Phillip. So we mentioned this, that at the top of the hour of the show, based on entries, so we look at the top 8 in each event, score it out as if that's the final. John Carroll came into this tied with Wartburg for 40, and I don't believe their 4x1 or Garrett Clark was factored into it, both of whom make the final, both of whom need to beat at least one team or one person to get points. They get 2 into the steeple final, and now they have at least, most likely, 10 points right now. And what can Jamie Daly do to secure more points for them as they are gaining on David Fossbender's shadow as Tyler Morris from Colby College takes the lead, followed by fellow NESCAC competitor Jeffrey Love of Conn College, Jamie Daly to his left, Graham Tui-Gatos, and Elias Lindgren in the mix, as well as Ethan Gregg. So that's 1, 2, plus 6. So that's your All-American pack as Ben White and Simon Hayes are falling off the pack here of All-American contention.
They're definitely going to catch Fossbender. They're putting 3 to 4 seconds into him every lap, and so that gap looks big, but it'll come down pretty quick. Philip still just kind of on that steady 72 tempo. He's not necessarily gaining any advantage right now, but he's not losing anything either.
So they're down by 7 seconds right now, and if they're catching 3 to 4 laps, we can expect them to potentially catch Fossbender, not this lap, but the next lap, if they continue this trend of 3 to 4 seconds per lap. As Alex looks like he is out for a tempo workout with 8 laps to go, 3,200 meters. As he takes a look back, and Ben White is back. Ben White went from out of it to leading the chase pack now. The rep from California taking the lead of that chase pack, and Fossbender is going to – here's a big moment now for Fossbender.
Yeah.
He's definitely losing momentum. He's going to get eaten up on this lap. You have to reattach.
If you want to be an All-American.
If you want to be an All-American, you have to get on this pack, reattach yourself, and take a chance. Because you're going to maybe run the same splits as them, but you're going to do it from behind. You'd rather do it with them than without them. But he has a little grimace now on his face. His cadence has slowed. Yeah, they're going to catch him by the turn or before the turn.
Yeah, I expect they'll go right around. He's been steady running 75s. It would be so hard to pick it back up, but we know he's a tough athlete.
So the chase pack has now eaten up David Fossbender. What a gutsy and courageous move. This is his only race of the weekend. He went with one of the best runners in D3 right now, and the pack is – so here's the thing, too. The pack should go around him, and not – yep, they are. And he's just going to get swallowed up.
Yeah, you see him going around on both sides. And these guys, they'll be counting. They know that there's 7 in their group. They know that whoever's on the back of the group is in that last All-American position. And they're pretty...
Oh, Alex Phillip fell.
Did he fall? What?
He fell.
He fell?
Not sure what happened there. Can we run that back potentially in race or no? Yeah, can you? That'd be great. So we're going to pull that back really quick because we did miss that here. Alex Phillip goes down. He's his back bib is off now. I wonder what happened here. With coming down, he'll have 6 laps to go. Took a tumble.
I wonder if he collided with
a lapped runner. What happened?
Or he stepped on the
rail. Oh, he's starting to grimace here. He's got 6 laps to go.
Still a huge
2,400 meters, mile and a half. And here's the look now at what happened here as we take
he twisted his ankle on the rail.
Ankle.
And he's back up.
up.
You saw him kind of clap his hands there as he got back up. He knows that was kind of a silly mistake. It cost him, looks like, 4 seconds on the lap. He got up pretty quick. It's tough to get back into that rhythm, but he's got such a huge advantage.
Those big Vaporfly heels caught the rail there.
That's tough.
Never seen that. But yeah, he's on the backstretch there. Yeah, he's got a fairly substantial lead as Jamie Daly is putting the hammer down on the backstretch. Alex Phillip continues to lead here. So it looks like it's Jamie Daly, Graham Tui Gatos, Ethan Gregg, Tyler Morris, Elias Lindgren, and Ben White are your 2 through 8. I wonder with 5 laps to go, 2K, can Alex hang on?
I'm curious to see what this lap is because he doesn't look amazing right now.
He completely twisted his ankle.
I know. It's amazing that he recovered.
And Jamie Daly is pulled away. This is big for team. This could be 18 points.
That was a 72 from Phillip, so we'll see what Daly's running. Daly gained another 2 seconds there. I don't know.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I don't know. 2K to go?
And coming up into third now is Ethan Gregg from Wisconsin La Crosse. Tyler Morris, Elias Lindgren.
This is possible for Jamie Daly. He's only 12 seconds down, and he's gaining 2 seconds a lap.
And he is pulling away. Ethan Gregg is doing a great job of pulling away from that backpack as well. Maybe we can get a glance here of the chase pack on the home stretch.
Phillip
But
is going to be put under some pressure.
there it is on the curve there. Ethan Gregg, Tyler Morris, Elias Lindgren, and Graham Tui Gatos. NESCAC has a chance to get at least one top three. They're going to have 3 All-Americans right now, at least right here. But Alex Phillip twisting his ankle, and Jamie Daly running down, but they also aren't giving up either. Jamie Daly doesn't have this second place in the bag yet. Ethan Gregg leading out Tyler Morris, Elias Lindgren, and Graham Tui Gatos as Tyler Morris overtakes Ethan Gregg into the chase pack.
Let's see, Daly clawed back a second on that lap. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's possible, but he's got to really, really move.
I mean, if everyone at home saw that ankle twist and bend that a way an ankle shouldn't bend. So
just a momentary lapse of concentration going around the left runner there. I mean, who can blame him for that? He is.
And here's the chase pack. Jamie Daly made a big move, but now Tyler Morris, Ethan Gregg, Elias Lindgren, and Graham Tui Gatos are smelling Daly coming back to them a little bit by bit.
Tui Gatos went backwards pretty quick on that last lap, if I'm judging that correctly. So be interesting to see how he can hang on there for 5th.
Yeah, and because he's got Ben White coming on him for 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Ben White's in 7th here. It looks like Jeffrey Love is in 8th. He'll be in your Connecticut College singlet in blue coming down the home stretch right now as Alex Phillip continues to lead on the backstretch.
Phillip and Daly both ran 71.34s, so exactly equivalent. Looks like Phillip has it back under control now, but he gave us a little bit of scare there, losing some time.
So something we haven't talked about Tyler Morris yet. He was 11th in cross country. He was in the top 10 in cross country, and he's only raced twice outdoors. He got his 10K mark, he got his 5K mark, and that was it. He was 10th in the 5K indoors and was 7th in cross country. So he's
big move here in the chase pack.
Elias Lindgren coming.
Elias Lindgren in 4th.
Graham Tui Gatos in 6th. But here comes Ben White trying to catch up. As a great view of Alex Phillip from a different angle. And here's OU Chicago runner Henry Myers. Here's Jamie Daly. Tyler Morris, Elias Lindgren. 2 laps to go. This is big. Tyler Morris is gaining on Jamie Daly. Elias Lindgren, the cross-country runner-up, is back after a disappointing 5K. He's at least going to be in the top 4, most likely with 650 meters to go.
Tyler Morris was a fast lap there with the 69, definitely making some moves back there. But, yeah, great run for Elias here, kind of avenging the demons of indoors.
I don't want to say anything, but they're only 50 meters back from Alex Phillip. If they do something crazy here in this last lap, and Alex doesn't know, watch out. But Alex should be okay, but the gap is dwindling. And Tyler Morris, and shout out to the lap runners moving out into lane 2 to let these guys race right now. Jamie Daly, and here comes Tyler Morris. They're going to come into your screen here shortly. Here's Alex Phillip, and Tyler Morris goes around. Oh my gosh.
It's not totally over.
They smell blood.
It's not totally over.
Tyler Morris is going to go for it.
Phillip ran a 73 there.
They're only 7 seconds back.
Morris gained 4 seconds on Phillip there. It's a big gap though.
We've seen some crazier things happen in track and field. Alex has to be hurting with that ankle. Tyler Morris, Jamie Daly. Here's a great angle of coming forward. You can see them battling for a second. Alex is doing everything that he can to hold on, and I think he will, but they are charging hard. Jamie Daly is charging hard. Tyler Morris is charging hard, and Elias Lindgren in 4th. It's so hard to tell, but it's going to cut. I don't know. He's
closing.
He's got enough room.
Phillip has got enough room.
But
wow.
Here's Jamie Daly charging down. your cross-country national champion, your indoor 5K national champion, your indoor 3K national champion is now the men's outdoor 10K national champion, Alex Phillip. Jamie Daly second, Tyler Morris third.
Oh, an embrace at the
18
line.
points for the team. Holy moly, what an embrace. Twisting an ankle. Graham Tui Gatos in fifth, Elias Lindgren in fourth, Ethan Gregg in sixth.
The John Carroll boys collapsing to the track. Really cool moment there when you saw Alex Phillip turn around at the line because he knew that Daly was there, and they just had a great moment. What a tough run from Alex Phillip. Dominated Division III distance running this year. Overcame that adversity. Look at the finishing time. Wait, no, that's not right. 3 seconds? He got within 3 seconds at the end.
Wow, yeah, Alex Phillip isn't up there. He's 30:02 on the live results at home. Jamie Daly 3:05. Wow, edging out Tyler Morris. There's Alex Phillip, your national champion.
He wants the camera to go away. I think we may be about to get sick. But what a run there. I mean, to get that advantage, to pull that advantage out early, and to hold on to it, even though they were putting time into him over the course of that race. I mean, that was super inspiring to overcome the adversity of that fall too.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen someone trip on their own ankle. Man, I wonder how the ankle is.
I'm sure I bet he feels nothing right now with the adrenaline of the race going through him, but it will come into play in the 5K.
Oh, for sure. The 5K is up for grabs now. Potentially